What's up? Yeah, just trying to get this day done. What I'm going to talk about from what I've been learning is own authority versus lease, and what I've been figuring out. And real close, and the difference from what I've learned so far, but I'm sure there's a whole lot more, is that if you go your own authority, and everyone's different. Well, we did like 5 different scenarios with different trailers. Our cost per mile with a reefer, a cost per mile with a tanker, cost per mile with this. Talked to a lot of companies about, hazmat loads. I already got a few endorsements. I'm going to get my hazmat. And I already got tanker. I definitely want to look into I want all my endorsements by the end of the year. I want every single endorsement you can get, just so I have it. It broadens your options up if you go your own authority, because you go your own authority, you buy your trailer, you buy your truck. You got to look at what you're going to have. Insurance on the tractor and the trailer. You're going to have cargo insurance, and I'm still looking into that, but I'm thinking you need to have at least I forgot what it's called, but it's like $750,000 in cargo insurance, and to be able to cover most of the stuff. That's my low point, or what I'm trying to figure out. Your truck payment, fuel. You better put about $300 to $400 a week, and coming out of your money into a separate account for maintenance, tolls, truck wash, if your truck breaks down. If you take a week or 2 off, you have it in there for a truck payment. You don't want to miss that. So the insurance I've got quoted, and it's hard to get a quote without having your own authority number. If you don't got a number, they really can't give you a quote. You got to pretty much have a number, your authority number. You got to have all that right from the get-go. And if you do that, we got a lawyer that we would go through that does that. A small fee to get your own authority, get set up with everything that you need to run your own authority, and do load boards. So there's a lot that goes into it. You better have about 10 grand saved up before you even think about going to your own authority. 10 grand minimum. If you don't got 10 grand, don't even try it. Then your other, you better have someone that is good with customers, like my wife. She'll be building those relationships with all these brokers. We run loads for different brokers. You got a pen to cross out the names of them brokers that ain't paying you fast enough. Cross out the names of them brokers that ain't finding you good backhauls. The brokers that are paying you the best, the runs, the company, or the brokers that are getting you the best loads, those are the brokers you want to always deal with. What you have to figure out what your cost per mile is, and you have to make at least this much more than your cost per mile to be able to make it. That's your salary. So everyone's cost per mile is different. Depends what kind of truck you drive. It depends where you're getting fuel. It depends your truck payment. My cost per mile is going to be different than your cost per mile. but it's common sense how to get it. You just add everything up. You know, do some multiplication, some division, subtraction. You know, if you can't figure out your cost per mile, you shouldn't even. That's the easiest step. But you know, you got to factor in everything. Insurance. If you do not have a company ever before and you're starting out, your insurance is going to be a lot higher than somebody that's been doing it for a while. You know, I've had, quotes as low as, I think the lowest one was $8,500 a year, but it wasn't that good. And then I think my up to like $16,000 for a year because you're new. So you're looking at that, 16 grand for 1 year insurance at the high end, what I found, but I'm still obviously looking into all that. You know, and if we go our own authority, after expenses, I need to be making at least a minimum of $1 a mile. I want to make a minimum of $1 a mile after expenses. But what I've been looking to do, they're a lot better than that, especially if I go get my hazmat and run hazardous loads. Lease, you know, you go right into a company, you know, you really don't need any money. You know, depending on the company, all you'll need is maybe $1,500 to $10 grand down to make for a down payment. But a lot of companies are zero down. The one I'm going to is like $1,800 down or $1,500 down after the 3 months. Run for a company driver, you know, if we do that too. And get the truck paid off in 3 years and then go your own authority. Learn the business that way first. You know, build relationships. Learn that's the lease side of it because you're still an owner-operator, just leasing. And you know, this company, you should be able to, you run a lot of miles, you know, you can bring easily after expenses, after taxes. We're looking at, you know, average maybe 150 a year. As soon as that truck fleet pays off, then it just jumps right up again. You know, you're looking at $700 a week, $650, $700 a week. So, you know, lease is good if you can find the right company. You know, all you got to know is this: when you're looking for a lease, get your cost per mile, find out everything about your truck. Find out, look into insurance. If you can find a company that'll give you a quote or a ballpark quote, and then do everything high. You know, you get your miles per gallon, how much you think you're going to be running. You know, only you know your cost per mile. I can't tell you my cost per mile because it's not going to be even close to what yours is. That's something you'll have to figure out on your own. And if you're looking to be an owner-operator, you need to learn that anyway on your own. And simple math, you know, you just got to spend a while getting your research down to get your cost per mile, and then you know what your bottom line is. You have to make this much to break even, and then I want to make this after my expenses and my every cost after my expenses, taxes and all that. I need to be making this much per mile to hit my quota where I want to hit. So it's you know, it's not something that's too easy. It's not hard, but it's one. You know, being an owner operator is not as easy as everybody thinks it is. And I gotta drive like no other. I mean, I'm addicted to learning everything I can about it. It's really addicting because my eyes are opening up to this huge new world. I've talked to so many people that, man, if you only knew. You know, I've a couple guys on YouTube that I watch their videos and I got a hold of them, talked to them personally. I got old bosses I've talked to that are running companies. Talk to my boss. I mean, I've been talking to some guys that are in the mix of running $1 million companies, and they have successful companies, so they're not gonna, they know I'm not gonna step on their toes. I mean, I'm not that type of guy. I know, I'm not gonna go to the factories that they, run for and be like, hey, I'll pay me this much and undercut. No, I don't do all that. I'll find my own. We will find our own, run load boards if we go on an authority. Why we're finding our own customers. We know exactly what we want to make with our cost per mile. We know how much we want to make after that per mile to make a damn good living. So we know how to negotiate how much they will pay us for a load. They say it goes from here to here. Okay, we do the math. All right, we'll charge you blah 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 blah. This is what we'll charge you. We know exactly what we're looking at, and if they we know our low end, we know our high end. We go in with a high end and see what they counter, if they even do. Our high end might be just what they're looking for. So we know a lot of big businesses, a lot of huge big businesses, especially people she deals with. So through her job, so we already got a good foot in the door. She's like she does all kinds of office work. That's all she does. Her job is staffing, human resources, a little bit of clerical, knows her accounting, marketing, a little bit of sales. I mean, I got a huge advantage. So, you got to look at what you want. Don't jump into nothing. Don't just jump into anything. That's why I'm thinking about going into lease first. Do that for a couple of years while we're building contact lists, learning the load boards, learning how to talking to this lawyer, getting our own authority ready to be set up and everything we need. 2 years ain't nothing. 2-3 years, the truck will be paid off. I got a truck with 2014 Volvo 780, full-size bunk. All the bells and whistles, everything you need. It's an automatic. By the time I get done with that truck to the lease, it might have 650, 700,000 on it, on the Dom. But shit, them Volvos, there's guys with 2 million miles on them Volvos. I'll be able to run that for a good 3 to 5 years as long as I take care of it. It's paid off. It's huge, that's like $3,000 extra a month that you ain't got to worry about. $3,000 extra a month as soon as it's paid off. And while you're paying it, you're still making real good money if you find the right company. And it's going good. If everything on this one goes through, orientation for me will start about, I think they said April 3rd, a couple weeks away, if that's when they want me to start. But there's some questions I'm going to ask them. But we got a lot of stuff down. We know everything, but we're going to tax write-offs, all that. We're about 95% there on our information. A little bit more on the insurance, learning more on the own authority by talking to this lawyer. I'm telling you, it's a big sacrifice, guys. But if people start looking into other things instead of working, company's cool. They get your experience. They get you, the studying. I'm at a dock, guess what? I'm studying. I'm researching everything. Anything that'll cost money, go in your own authority, being an owner-op. It's intimidating. It's an intimidating situation if you try to go in blind. And my eyes are open wide. I'm hungry for this knowledge. Like I said, it is addicting, finding out the money, the potential. But you better spend a while learning it. Have that credit score up. Build your capital. Man, I can't believe how frickin'... It looks like it's 80 degrees in Michigan, and it says it's 36. But it's sunny. No wind. The trees aren't even moving. Head over to Chicago from here. I just left Detroit a couple hours ago. Then head south. My long route, Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, guys, this is a fun test for me right here. Learning this stuff. You know, don't get me wrong, it ain't all good information. There's a lot of stuff that you definitely got to think about when you start looking into it. You know, and everybody's different. I can't sit here and tell you all the bad stuff. I can tell you some of the bad stuff, some of the good stuff. You know, your costs and stuff you're looking forward to, especially if you never got into it. But I'm thinking going into this lease first, still making really good, 5-6 times the money I'm making now, maybe more. It might be, let's see, yeah, I'm probably making 6 times the amount of money that I'm making right now, and I got a decent job. So I would be leasing, making 5-6 times the amount of money I'm making here. Get the truck paid, go on own authority. During that time, learning. But yeah, a couple guys had some questions about that stuff, and you know, a lot of guys are asking me what company I'm going to, but the thing is, I haven't talked to this company. I've talked to my recruiter, this guy I've known for a while, that yeah, he's making a small profit, but this guy's been doing been doing trucking. He owns multiple trucking companies, and he owns a recruiting company, and he has a reputation that he's had for 20-some, 30-some years. He's not going to put somebody as some joke. You know, he tells you a straight shooter. He's like, I'll say, what do you think about this company? He'll be like, no. Now let me tell you everything about that company that they do. And you know, he just straight, and I'm like, what about this one? He's like, you know, that's not one of my companies, but that's a good one. So, I mean, he's not going to, he wish he's still in contact with, he said he's put hundreds of people into jobs. And there might be, in the last 10, 15, 20 years, hundreds. And there might be 12 of them that he doesn't talk to anymore. He's always checking in with them, making sure everything's working good, their families are good. I mean, the guy has a heart, so, and those are hard to come by, recruiters like that. And so he's just, you know, I don't know if I can even put their name out there right now. If I get in and I talk to them and they say everything's cool, then I'll be able to put them out, you know. Hate these freaking e-logs. But yeah, that's what it's about right now. Still learning. I was hoping to get a call today. You know, they're going over all my stuff. Want to get this hazmat endorsement, hopefully in about 2-3 months. You gotta be pre-enrolled. You gotta go get fingerprints. You know, they have to get everything registered. Before you can even go take the test, you gotta be pre-enrolled. They gotta put you through a background check. All this stuff. You gotta meet certain requirements, and then once you get approved, you go take the test. Go get fingerprinted. So, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So, if you got any questions, let me know down in the comment section of this video or any of my other videos. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and I'll keep you guys posted. So drive safe and keep on trucking.